I'm Mike Marumoto, Director of Field Relations for GanoExcel, and today we're going to teach you about our company and our products. Now here at GanoExcel we have 4 pillars. Number 1, we have Energize. That talks about our coffee products. Revitalize, which talks about the life-giving herb that we put in all of our products. Harmonize, that's where we give back in all the countries that we ever go into. And Socialize, and that talks about the money aspect of our business. And at the end we talk about Belief. Now, what I mean by belief is if you can't believe in what you're doing, isn't it hard to get people to believe in what you're doing? Now, the first thing that I always ask people is what is the very first thing you need to do to become healthier? Now, most people think that it's diet or nutrition, but it comes before that. People think that it's drinking more water or going to sleep on time, but it's actually before that too. The first thing you have to do before you can do anything is simply decide you want to. Now, those people that make a healthy decision in their lives, what percentage of them actually stick with it past 6 months? Now, before you answer that question, let me ask you a few more. How many people do you know that started a diet, but they never finished? How many people do you know with a gym membership, but they don't go? How many people do you know that bought one of those ab machines off a commercial, but they don't use it? Now, the harder questions you might ask those people would be how many people do you know that started a diet, accomplished their goal, and here's the hard part, maintained it? How many people do you know that exercise every single day? How many people do you know that actually have a six-pack? And we're talking about the one that goes on your stomach, right? Not the one that goes inside your fridge. Now, 97% of everybody quit. 97%, well, they never make it. But let me ask you this question. How many people here know somebody that drinks coffee, right? Now, here's the weird question. How often do they forget to drink it? Well, for 8 out of 10 Americans, they don't. Why? Why do people never forget their coffee? Well, for some people like me, it's a slight addiction. For other people, like this guy, it's a heavy addiction. Can anybody tell me, how many types of addictions are there out there? Would you believe me if I told you there was only 2? Yeah, there's legal ones or illegal ones, right? There's a guy in every corner selling drugs to people, but let's talk about legal addictions for a second. For now, let's call them Starbucks. And aren't they in every single corner too? Yeah, and who's winning? Well, Starbucks is. How do we know that? Well, guess what people drink more of when they try to give up smoking, drinking, or doing drugs? Yeah, they drink more coffee. In fact, it's the one addiction people use to help get rid of other addictions in life. Number 1 comfort food, 2nd largest traded commodity, 2nd most consumed beverage other than water. Now, what do we do with coffee? It's very simple. We make it good for you. Now, do we call it healthy coffee? Well, we used to, but calling it healthy coffee we found it was actually really, really bad marketing. What do I mean? Well, if I said, hey, would you like to try some healthy coffee? Most people would tell me, no, thank you. I like coffee that tastes good. Because healthy and tastes good, well, they don't always go together, do they? Would you like to try some healthy coffee? No, thank you. I like my coffee with caffeine in it. I mean, why else would you drink it? Would you like to try some healthy coffee? No, thank you. I only drink real coffee. I tried Poston before, and I didn't really like it. So instead of calling it healthy, well, we called it what it really was, and that's enriched. What does enriched even mean? Well, it simply means we're adding something to real coffee. So the only question they should ask you then is, well, what do you enrich it with? Now, some people still might ask you, does it have caffeine in it? My answer to them is, I sure hope so. Isn't that why people drink coffee? In fact, if you knew how they decaffeinated coffee, well, you probably wouldn't drink it anyways. It's a harsh chemical process far worse for you than the caffeine ever could have been. Now, how many people here have ever tried decaf before? Yeah, well, how did that formaldehyde taste? Or the 5 other cancer-causing chemicals used in most major brands today? Who'd like a second cup now? I didn't think so. Now, let me ask this question. How many people here have ever tried enriched products before? I mean, they're pretty common, aren't they? We got vitamin water, Gatorade, orange juice with calcium, milk with vitamin D, and my favorite, Wonder Bread. But let me ask this question. What did we call vitamin water before we added the vitamins? Now, most people told me water, but in actuality, it was Kool-Aid. You add some vitamins to Kool-Aid, and what happened? It became a billion-dollar industry. So do you think enriched products sell pretty well? Yeah, me too. The question is what do we enrich ours with that makes it so much better? Well, we enrich it with a very powerful ancient herb called Ganoderma lucidum, also known as reishi, lingxi, or yangji. Now, if you're not sure what any of those names are, you might be a little surprised to find out that Ganoderma lucidum is a giant red mushroom. So yes, if you tried our product, yes, you tried mushroom coffee. But don't worry, it's not those kind of mushrooms. You'll be fine. Now there's over 200 different varieties of Ganoderma lucidum, and they're all very good for your body. But there are some better than others and some better than those. But when you get to the very best ones, they start targeting your body in different ways. So there is one best for the immune system, one best for the cardiovascular system, one best for the internal organs, and so on and so forth. Now there's a lot of companies out there that claim that they're better than we are. In fact, they claim to have the best Ganoderma lucidum. Now my question to them is always, the best for what? Because if the best ones target, well, what does yours target? And they can never answer that question. They only tell me the people that sold us the Ganoderma said it was the best. I said, wow, that's a lot to say with nothing to back it up with. So of course they get a little upset with me, and they ask me, well, then what's yours the best for? And they get even more upset when I tell them, well, ours is the best for everything. Well, I thought you said one couldn't be the best for everything. It can't. That's why we use 6. The 6 most beneficial for the human body, giving you a full body targeted healing effect. Now, which one would you want to drink? The one that helps your entire body, or the one that doesn't? The second thing we do different is our extraction method. There wasn't one out there that was good enough, so we had to invent our own. What does our extraction method do? Number 1, and most importantly, it makes the Ganoderma absorb quickly and easily in the body, which is not easy to do with Ganoderma, especially not in coffee. Number 2, it makes our formula odorless and tasteless. Why is that important? Well, if our coffee didn't taste good, nobody would drink it. Now, I always ask this question. Why do we think Americans are so unhealthy? You know, why? I mean, we had the best medical technology in the world, but out of the top 29 countries, we rank 26th in mortality rate. What does that mean? Well, it simply means we die far younger than the people in Japan do. And when I say we, I actually mean you. I'm Japanese, so good luck with that one. Now, I'm just kidding. Now, here's the thing. Most people tell me, well, we're not healthy because we don't know how to be healthy, right? Somebody always says it's knowledge. If somebody would teach me how to be healthy, well, then I could be healthy. I tell them, really? I'm not sure about that, because last time I checked, being healthy was mostly common sense. I mean, everybody knows you need to drink more water, eat more vegetables, walk around the block a couple of times every night to be healthy, but most people don't do that. And I ask them why. Why don't you do at least the minimum? They tell me I would if I had more time. I go, really? I mean, I work here 6 days a week. I'm here 12 hours a day. I have 2 small children and a very, very needy wife, but yet I exercise every single day. How do I do it? I still have no time. I just spell it a little different. I know my time. I make time. Now, if you can't make enough time in your life to do something good for your body every single day, well, there's a magical button in your house. If you press that button, yes, it will shut your TV off. So it's not time or knowledge why we're not healthy in this country. In fact, it comes down to one major reason. It's the same reason I drive my car. And there's a volume control on the steering wheel, because it hurts my arm to twist that little knob down there. It's the same reason I go to McDonald's, and if I don't get my food in 5 minutes or less, I get upset. You want to get me really upset? Make me get out of my car to get the food. I mean, what have we become as a society? Maybe just a little bit lazy. No, do I mean lazy as we don't do anything? Absolutely not. I'm sure everybody here works very, very hard. But have we become too accustomed to too many modern conveniences? For instance, how many people here have a cell phone, right? If you left your cell phone at home, would you want to go get it? Yeah, me too. Why? Well, because your cell phone rings and tells you when something important is going to happen. What happens when you take your vitamins, minerals, or supplements? What happens when you forget to take those? Well, I'll take them tonight. I'll take them tomorrow. And I figured out why. Your vitamins, your minerals, your supplements, well, they don't ring and tell you when you're going to get sick. They don't ring and tell you what you're going to get sick with. In fact, when you get sick, where do you go? You go to the doctor. What do? They give you some medication, and that starts a habit throughout your life. Now, there's only a certain point of time until they run out of medications. They run out of treatments. Now, how many people have ever heard it's better to prevent than it is to treat? Now, our founder of our company lives by that. And he said, you know what? I'm going to make it so easy for people to prevent. I'm going to make it in a way they'll never forget to do it. Now, Mr. Liao Sun's saying, more than being the founder of our company, he's a mycologist. A mycologist is a scientist that just studies mushrooms. In 1980, he started studying Ganoderma lucidum. He found out there was over 200 different varieties, found the top 6 for the human body, figured out how to tissue culture and clone those mushrooms, keeping the same 6 the same every single time. Now, that took him over 15 years to do 2 things. Number one, make it absorb in the body. Number two, he had to make it affordable. Now, the one thing that you have to do to make it affordable, in my opinion, is, well, you got to grow your own. Now, GanoExcel owns the largest organic plantation in the world, and all the Ganoderma only goes to our products. In fact, we can grow 65 million mushrooms every 3 months. We can support retail sales of up to $3 billion. Now, we've never hit $3 billion in a year yet, but we're working on it. And in 1997, we put Ganoderma in coffee. But why coffee? It's very simple. Everybody drinks it. Why else? Well, if I said, here, take these pills, what would you ask me? Well, why? What are they? What do they do? How are they going to help me, and what are the side effects? Here, drink some of this juice. Well, why? What is it? What does it do? And what does it taste like? Would you like a cup of coffee? Well, sure, I'd love one. You see the difference in our marketing? People want to drink coffee. Well, how well does that work? Well, we're not doing $3 billion a year yet, but 700 million is not bad, is it? 5 million satisfied customers. But luckily for you guys, guess where they're at? Not here. They're outside of North and South America. But guess where 80% of the world's coffee drinkers live? Yeah, they live in North and South America. So if we're doing 700 million a year, have 5 million satisfied customers in countries, well, that don't even like coffee that much, what do you think we're going to do here? Maybe just a little bit more? Quite possibly. That's why in 2006 we opened up a brand new factory. That factory is over 1 million square feet inside. And everything from roasting our own coffee beans to printing our own packaging, we do everything ourselves from step one to step done. We're GMP and ISO certified, pharmaceutical grade, pharmaceutical clean through the entire process, and we have state-of-the-art laboratories making and testing your coffee. Do you think that's important? Well, the answer is actually no. It's not important unless you know one thing, and that one thing I like to call WIFM. WIFM controls every single action you do consciously, and it simply stands for, what's in it for me? How's it going to help me? How's it going to help the people I care about? That's where we go into the science of Ganoderma lucidum. Now, Ganoderma lucidum has over 100 antioxidants. Now, antioxidants kill free radicals. What are free radicals? They're mutated cells in your body. But what do mutated cells do in your body? Number one, they can make you age quickly. Number two, they can cause life-threatening diseases. Now, does anybody here want to age quickly or die early? If the answer is no, maybe you should have a lot of antioxidants in your diet then. Number two, GanoExcel has over 200 phytonutrients. What are phytonutrients? Phytonutrients are plant nutrients that absorb quickly and easily in your body. Now, when your body's nutrient dense, you naturally crave less food. But let's take that out. I mean, Ganoderma has exactly 154 antioxidants, 200 phytonutrients. But people are like, well, compared to what? Let's take it compared to orange juice. How many phytonutrients do you think orange juice has? Well, it has 4. Antioxidants, 8. Now, when we call Ganoderma a superfood, shouldn't there be a big difference between normal foods and superfoods? Yeah, isn't that a pretty big difference? Now, polysaccharides, organic germanium, lanostrol, lanostan, adenosine, ganoderins, A and B, and triterpenoids. What are they? Well, they're the top 7 phytonutrients in Ganoderma lucidum. What do? Well, I wasn't sure either, so I had to Google it. Google took me to a place called pubmed.gov, which means medical publications for the government. Now, what does the government think about Ganoderma lucidum? Well, they believe it to be an antibacterial, anti-candida, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, anti-tumor, lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, blood sugar moderator, cardiovascular enhancer, kidney tonic, liver tonic, nerve tonic, boosts the immune system, rids the body of heavy metals and toxins, just to name 14 of the 721 studies on there now. But here's the thing. What do we do with it? Right? Why would we put that in toothpaste? Yeah, we put it in toothpaste. There's a simple reason. People use it every single day. That's the number one reason. Number two, the Ganoderma lucidum will absorb directly into your bloodstream through the mucous membranes or sublingually in the mouth. Number three, Ganoderma lucidum is a powerful antibacterial. What causes all the problems in your mouth? Bacteria. Now we have oatmeal. Now our oatmeal, it's very special. We put spirulina in there. Spirulina is a blue-green algae. It's known to be the most perfect protein for the human body to consume. Now, everybody here knows that protein is the building block of human life, right? So who thinks that sounds like a good product? Well, sure. I mean, who wouldn't want oatmeal with algae and mushrooms in it, right? Right? Well, what if it tasted like Frosted Flakes? Could you eat it then? More importantly, could you get your kids to eat it? Then we have black coffee. Black coffee we make for two types of people. Number one, and most importantly, is the person that likes black coffee. Number two is the person that likes to have their coffee their way. Now, a lot of people always ask me, well, why do you use sugar? Why do you use this? We don't in the black coffee make it however you want. Well, let's address that issue. Why do we use sugar? Well, the most important reason why is simply because it tastes good, right? And who's our target market? Is it the person that grinds their own wheatgrass juice every day and does yoga 12 times a day? No, it's the person that goes to McDonald's, Starbucks, and AM PM to get their coffee. What do they put in their coffee? Well, they put sugar, cream, chocolate, caramel, sometimes extra caffeine, right? Now let's use this analogy. How many people here have ever been to the doctor? Yeah, did you ever get an injection, a shot? Did anybody here ever ask, what kind of needle is that? Well, the needle is just the coffee. It's a way of getting the Ganoderma in the body. Now we have our 3-in-1, our coffee with cream and sugar. This is one of my favorites. It's our latte. I like to call it our cut and go because you simply cut, pour, and you're on your way. We have mocha, coffee with cream and sugar, and a luscious artesian Swiss chocolate. Hot chocolate, great for children. Why? No caffeine in this product. Also has excellium, which is a brain food, and the Ganoderma lucidum. Now our tea. Our tea is very special. It's a red rooibos tea, known to be the South African miracle tea. It has twice the antioxidants of green tea, no tannic acid, no caffeine. On top of that, we put Ganoderma lucidum in it. Now, how many people here know somebody that has trouble relaxing, unwinding, sleeping at nighttime? If so, have them try our tea. Now, for those people with the opposite problem out there, we have a very special coffee for you. That one's called Tonkat Ali. Now, how many people here have ever tried a Red Bull before? What do they tell you? Red Bull gives you what? Wings. They just don't tell you while you're flying. They chop them off and you go screaming back down again. Now, Tonkat Ali, it won't do that. It has 3 very powerful herbs in there to help. Number 1, Ganoderma lucidum. What does that do in your body? Well, it helps keep things level. Number 2 is ginseng. What does ginseng do? Boosts your energy level way up. Number 3 is Tonkat Ali. What does that do? That one boosts your libido. So you get energy, libido. Good, right? Unless you're single, then it's bad. Now they call it the coffee for lovers, the energy coffee, the muscle coffee, but how does it work? When you guys will like this, Tonkat Ali actually raises your testosterone levels. What does that do in men? Well, it increases strength, power, stamina, ability, and everything from sports to, sports, right? In women, it works a little different. In women, it raises your testosterone levels, at which point most women go, wait a second, I don't want testosterone in my body. Well, guess what? You already have it, and if you knew what it did, you might want just a little bit more, just a little more often. Let me explain how it works. Now, there's a time of the month my wife has where she likes to yell and throw things at me. I'm not quite sure why. All I know is there's 4 days afterwards where she's just a little more friendly than normal. What happens is her natural testosterone levels raise at that time, increasing what we call friendliness in women. Now, unfortunately, my wife, she doesn't drink coffee. She only drinks the tea, and guess what that does to her at night? Yeah, it puts her to sleep. I hate that tea. Now, we have everything in supplement form as well. We have Ganoderma lucidum for the body, excellium for the brain, which is made from the mycelium of the mushroom, which is the baby mushroom. It's more densely rich in polysaccharides and other brain foods. Now, this does 2 things in your body. Number 1, it helps your brain activate, kind of like ginkgo on steroids. Number 2, it helps your body absorb nutrients at a rapid rate. Now, you have to be a little careful on this one because if you're not eating a healthy diet, it will absorb everything at a rapid rate. So you could take more Ganoderma lucidum and get the same effects. And then finally, we have Sakano. Sakano is our libido enhancer without the ginseng. Now, I tell my wife to take 2 Ganoderma, 1 Sakano every day, and she asked me why. I said, don't worry about it. It's good for me. I mean you. Just take it. Now, I don't give her the one for the brain because I don't want her to figure out why she's taking the Sakano. Well, I mean, that's only fair. And then finally we have soap. The soap is Ganoderma lucidum, goat's milk, Malaysian cedar bark for scent. Now if you know anybody with oily skin, dry skin, acne or eczema, well have them try our soap. Do you know anybody that shaves? Well, hopefully everybody, right? This isn't Europe. Now it leaves the smoothest shaped area you've ever had. Now somebody always asks, are we FDA approved? And the answer is no. We're not approved to make claims of curing, treating, diagnosing, or mitigating any type of disease. Only prescription drugs can do that. But are we tested by the FDA and approved safe for your consumption? Absolutely. In fact, every food, beverage, and supplement in this country has to be first. Now, let's talk about FDA-approved drugs for a second. How many people have seen these commercials on TV? The ones with butterflies, bumblebees, couples skipping hand in hand saying how wonderful these new drugs are. What do they tell you at the end of the commercial? Side effects. Liver damage, kidney damage, ulcers, and in rare cases, may cause death. How rare? Happens to be the leading cause of death in the United States today. The use and abuse of prescription drugs. Now, unfortunately, last year, my brother's fiancée, she died taking sleeping medication. She only took one. It stopped her heart. After his fiancée passed away, I went inside a little bit. I asked myself a very important question. Is there anything more I could have done to help my brother? And I came to a very sad realization. I wasn't trying to help my brother. I was only trying to prove myself right. Because doesn't being right feel pretty good? Yeah, it feeds two areas of my life. One's called ego. The other one's called pride. Now, I'm not sure if I'm the only person here that's ever made a mistake because of ego or pride, but I made a pretty big one. I never helped my brother with the most important thing. And that's simply the right reason. So when I tell you this, I absolutely mean it. If you decide not to do this as a business, I'm going to make you one promise. That promise is, our company will be fine. It's not a business for everybody, and that's just being honest. But before you leave here, there's probably two things you should know. Does it work? Can I prove it? If you'll drink the coffee, I'll prove it to you right then. What do I mean? Well, go back to a time when you drank a normal coffee before. How does it make you feel? A little jittery, anxiety, heart palpitations, acid reflux, a host of other negative things, and then you crash. Then notice how you feel after you drink our coffee. Energized, focused, a little bit happier, no crash. Now, if Ganoderma lucidum is powerful enough to counteract the negative effects of caffeine and acid that quickly in your body, well, what else is it doing? What if everything else I told you was true? Don't you think you should at least share it with the people you care about? At least that much? And this is where people come and tell me, hey, look, Mike, if you understood and you knew my friends and family, well, we wouldn't be having this conversation. They really don't like it when I try and make money off of them. Well, we have a very special program here for your friends and family. If you sell it to them at the exact same price you bought it for, guess what? You won't make any money. That solves that problem. Number two, is this one of those pyramid companies? Absolutely, 100% yes. Well, Mike, I don't want to be in a pyramid company. In fact, I don't want to be in any type of pyramid at all. Understandable. But you might have to change your lifestyle just a little bit. What do I mean? Well, if you have a job now, you might have to quit. What do you mean? Well, does your boss make more than you do? Of course he does. Are there more bosses or more workers? What shape does that make? Well, it's a pyramid, so you can't work. Anybody here go to church? Yeah, I can't go there either. One preacher, a lot of congregation, another pyramid. Live in the United States? One president, lots of taxpayer. In fact, every organization's a what? Yeah, they're all pyramids. The question is, and what you want to ask is, how are you going to pay me? Because right now, I work this amount of hours, and I make this amount of money. You know, that's called linear income, trading your time for money, also known as hourly or salary. Well, let me ask you the question. How many people here have ever been to Hawaii before? Right? How many people would like to go? If I sent you there for 3 months, all expenses paid, who here would go? Second question. Who would pay your bills here? Now, if you can't go, there's one thing in your life you don't own. What is it? It's your time. How do you own your time? Well, you got to earn residual income. What's that? Well, it's very simple. Every time you turn on your computer, who makes a little bit of money? Well, this guy named Gates does. Every time you download something to your iPhone, iPod, iTouch, iPad, whatever, this guy named Jobs makes a little bit of money. Every time you go to Starbucks or McDonald's, the person that owns the name Starbucks or McDonald's makes a little bit of money. How many times did you pay for your cell phone? One time. How many times do you keep paying for it? Every single month. Residual income simply means doing something one time and getting paid over and over again for it. Now, J. Paul Getty said it best. I'd rather have 100 people do 1% than have to do 100% myself. How do you do that with coffee? It's very simple. When you sell it to somebody, you make a little money. What happens when they rebuy it? Well, you make a little bit more. What happens when they introduce it to somebody else? You make a little bit more. See how it works? Now, this only works with one type of product. The product has to be something that everybody uses. And most importantly, they always run out of it. Now, you can't get a better product than coffee. I want everybody to go back and remember to when you were a child. And I want you to remember if you had a dream to grow up and be something someday. Well, it's anybody's dream here to grow up and be average. But yet 97% of Americans grow up and become financially what? Average. Only you can make that difference in your life. Only you can change your destiny. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it here, but please, do it somewhere. Thank you so much for paying attention. Everybody's time and attention is very important. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Marumoto, Director of Field Relations. Everybody have a wonderful day.